podcast.
Where we're going right now is we're finding out when people thought, well, this is how I'm going to die.
It's the brink of life and death, isn't it?
Hi, Rhonda.
Good morning, guys. Love your show.
Rhonda.
You make my day every morning.
Rhonda, and this is why I'm really glad that you're currently living.
Oh, so am I.
So when was it?
A long,
What happened?
long time ago.
Yeah.
So, yes, I did live to tell the tale, obviously. So many years ago, forward driving, my husband and I, pre-kids. So up the Mundaring power lines, used to go there a lot of weekends,
Yep.
and in a short wheelbase Land Cruiser. So driving along, it was a lot of big ruts. So we kind of went off kilter, and next minute we're basically the driver's side's two wheels are hanging over the edge of a very, very big drop.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my God, it's like the
And we're
movies.
sitting there, and my husband looked at me and he said, "Now don't move." And he proceeded to leave his seat, climb over me, and get out of my passenger seat door, and still telling me, don't move, just stay there while we wait for help. I honestly
So
thought...
wait there, he got out and left you in there to weigh
And
the
left
car down
me-
as an anchor so it didn't go over the edge.
Yeah, exactly.
And he got out.
He got out.
Over the top of you.
He crawled over the
Husband
top
of the
of
year.
me.
You gotta look, go, nah,
And then
my
said,
worst.
don't move.
I've got a lot more to live for.
Rhonda, you still married to this man?
I am nearly 43 years.
Rhonda!
Well, as long as you know your position.
That's what's known as a massive red flag, Rhonda.
I
Don't
know.
move. Let's not get you out of the car. No, you
no.
stay there.
That's
Just-
right. Whatever you do, don't you move.
So, Rhonda, how long did it take to get help and what happened?
We were lucky we were travelling with a group, so it wasn't too long. It was probably, it seemed like a long time,
Yeah,
but
of
it was
course.
probably only about 15 minutes or
It's
so.
a long time when
But
it's you in the
a long
car.
time to be
Yeah.
teetering over an edge.
Yes,
I
it
can
is.
Tell you.
What's this wonderful man's name?
Laurie.
Laurie,
Laurie,
take a good
sorry.
look at yourself,
Right now,
mate.
some women are going, what a monster. Many men are going, oh, I see exactly what he did there.
yeah.
I back
Sean's
him up
one of
on
them,
it.
I guess. Thanks, Rhonda. Taryn's in Rockingham. Hello.
Hello, how you going?
Hi,
Hey,
Taryn.
When did you think, oh my God, this is how I die?
Well, many moons ago in Ireland, I was a supervisor in a meat factory, and we got this huge new machine that was like, there was these compression things underneath that would shoot the meat out of mold.
Out of
And
mold.
being the supervisor, being the supervisor, I have to make sure everything's kept going, and there was meat got stuck underneath. So I went underneath the machine, and the compression thing shot up and wedged my head in, and I was there, felt like ages, but I was stuck. My head was stuck in. I couldn't get it out of this lodge, and I swore my skull was going to explode.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so
we've
the-
been constant pressure on it.
The
Yes.
meat compression thing.
Yeah, and only that the machine malfunctioned. It must have done a malfunction in the compression release.
Yes.
I wouldn't be here to tell you this
I
story.
know, because what if they came in and
Taryn.
found her too late and there she is, just her body, and from the neck up it's just sausages.
That's how it works, Nathan. That's how it works.
It was Billy the Smiling Sausage. So there you go.
So your head must be really tough for the machine to malfunction once it's jammed you in there.
Yeah, I've always been told
Sean.
I'm a tough nut.
Tougher than a rissole, they say. They've always said it about Darren.
Was there a compo payout for that?
Well, would you believe I went to the manager and I said, because I was really dizzy and, that I had a big crack down my skull, and they just laughed at me.
Well, you know what? I can understand why they laughed.
I know.
Well, it was
Health and
Ireland in the
safety.
90s.
Yeah,
you know,
it was in the
Ireland in the
90s.
90s.
Oh, you're hilarious, Taryn.
I have to say, you're the first person who spoke to that's gotten their head stuck in a meat compression
Yes,
machine.
I know.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Great singing, everybody, and that's what we're talking about right now. The Women's World Championship in hot air ballooning is taking
Amazing.
place in Northam this weekend. It's supposed to be kick-off. Now, it's the
Yep.
first time it's happened outside of Europe, which is a big deal.
I love it. It's fast-paced, high-flying,
Well, let's-
Fast and the Furious kind of
We've
stuff.
got a lot of questions about how it actually works.
Like all the questions,
Yes.
we've got Alana Carl who's competing in it this weekend. Alana, good morning.
Good
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Alana, you're our first official balloonist that we've had on our show in 20 years.
Yep.
In 20 years.
We go there. This is a show that goes there.
So, Alana, we have to ask the obvious question. How does competitive hot air ballooning work? Is it a race? Is it about accuracy? How does it? What is it?
It is about accuracy.
Okay.
So it's a navigational task. We obviously float with the wind, so we can only do what the wind tells us we can do.
Bloody wind.
And it's, I know, right?
Ugh.
Especially when it doesn't go the way you want to go.
I know.
But someone will set a task and they'll put it, say, in the middle of a field. And you have to navigate your balloon with the winds that you have to that task. And the closest to get there is the wind. They win.
Okay. So because the wind is the master of this, sometimes is it impossible if the marker's over there, the wind's blowing here, and you can't get over there because of the wind?
Sometimes, but the directors that run these competitions are they're onto their stuff. So they know what they're doing and they know what to kind of expect of the areas. So they set tasks that are achievable.
Okay, so when you're going to the task, are you talking about a marked out bit of territory that you've kind of got to land
Like a big
closest
X or
to?
something? What is?
Yeah.
It is a big cross.
Okay.
So it's about 10 by 10 metres and they just lay it out in the middle of a field.
Oh, this is exciting.
So you have to land on it. The ideal is to land right smack bang in the middle of
close
it.
as
But what
you
happens
can.
if there's a lot at the one time going, and how does that work?
What, everyone getting to the same cross?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Or do you take turns?
So you don't land, you throw a little sandbag out of the basket. So we literally throw things at people.
Yes,
it's
That
great.
is so great.
So it's essentially balloon pin the tail on the donkey, right?
That's a really good way of putting it, yes.
So wait there, why aren't more of us doing this? Like, because this seems fun.
And yeah,
Like,
I guess ballooning's expensive.
Ballooning is quite expensive. It's about the cost of a car. So, if you're happy to pay for a car in the sky, go forth. Come join us.
But say you don't want to buy a balloon, right?
Yep.
But like you say, you can go to Northam and you can go and have a ballooning experience.
Yes.
Go up there, have a drink of champagne, blah blah blah. Do you guys offer this competition? Is this competition on offer anywhere, like so people can just have a go?
No, so we don't have that type of
'Cause that would be
competition.
fun.
That's more the festivals. So
right.
a lot of Australia will run some festivals. So the most known one is probably Canberra. The Canberra Balloon Festival happens in March each year. And that's where you can pretty much come and have a look at the spectacle of balloons launching off a field all together and flying along the lake.
We've been looking at something we can dominate with.
Yes.
Like, so how much,
could be it.
honestly, how much will a balloon cost us if Nova was to buy a balloon, a competitive balloon?
Do you want to sponsor one of us? Because we can.
No, we want to
talk about this offline.
We want to be your competitor and we want to smash you.
Love it. That is fantastic. We need more Aussie pilots coming through.
Okay, so how much?
Is there
How
a
much
good
will?
balloon and a bad balloon? Like, is it about, or is it like Formula One where you're very restricted about the specs of the balloon?
You are restricted about how big the balloon goes, but if you just want a competition balloon, they'll set you back. An entirely new kit will be about 60 to 70 grand.
And that's with the basket.
That's
we'd have
with the
to weave
basket,
that
that's with the
ourselves.
burner, it's with the balloon.
And
wait,
how
you
much
could-
is fuel?
Well, how much is fuel now? It's $1.20 something for gas.
Oh,
And
gas.
you burn about 1 litre per minute that you fly. So if you fly for 60 minutes, you got 60 litres of gas.
Yeah.
Do you fly with an extra bottle just in case?
Always.
Okay, I didn't
Always
know.
got fuel.
I didn't know because then that would add to weight. Wouldn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
But then again, it's not a timing thing; it's an
Yes.
accuracy thing. God, the things we're learning, Alana, I love it. We're going to take you on. We're going to destroy you.
Alana, is there, apart from winning the World Championship and the title itself, which is amazing, is there a monetary value associated with it?
I actually don't know.
You don't know if there's
I don't
prize
know.
money for this
No.
competition?
I think the person you need to talk to is Nicholas Gates because
Yeah,
she's
right.
now won it twice.
Okay.
And she's a phenomenal Australian pilot.
Yeah. I have a question. So this is the Women's World Hot Air Ballooning Championship. Is it a very gender-specific sport? Like, is there strength required? Like, why don't men and women compete against one another?
So normally women are the supporting role for men. So men have always had the first dibs at, going and trying new things, especially putting a bag over your head and inflating it with hot air and a flame,
Sorry, I
and
thought
then
you were talking
landing.
about something else.
So typically, men have always dominated the sport purely for that support reason. The females have been the ones chasing in the car and helping back up and back down and all that kind of stuff. So this just allows the women to step forward in their own format and have the men push back into more of the supporting role. So it's just about encouraging that change.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We do have the PM in the studio, Tracy.
Yes,
Very good. Actually,
it's wonderful.
It's great having Tracy here because you can see her nightly on Channel 9 there, PM, but she's also got a rundown of your schedule, and she was reading it to us earlier on, Tracy.
Well, I've got the timings of your schedule today.
It's a busy day.
They really jam-pack it in, Prime Minister, for you. And it's been busy for you ever since you took on the role, really, or being in politics in general.
It certainly has.
The last time we sort of met up was, I think it was Mardi Gras in Sydney. In 2011.
2011.
You were on the Kylie float.
2011.
You were spinning around. Move out of your way.
Long time supporter.
Tell you what, yes. He's great on the walk there along Oxford Street. It's a long walk.
It's good fun.
I've done it once.
Where
though,
else
because
is
how
a
many
politician?
woos can you do on Oxford Street?
Where else can a politician walk for kilometres and be cheered the whole time? Hey,
That's a really good point.
you know, like, why wouldn't you do it? I can't believe I'm the first PM to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What were they thinking?
Mate, imagine if you paired that walk with a mesh singlet. Oh, my God. The cheers would have been amazing.
No one wants to see that.
So were you a transport minister, were you, at the...
It was
I would have been in
2010,
2011. I would have been infrastructure
And chose to walk.
transport minister. Yeah. Walking is a very important form of transport. To stay healthy, folks. Walk.
That is true.
Now, we gave you a gift when we had dinner at the lodge. Our photo of us that was framed, and we put it on the mantle. Now, Shaun, Natalie and myself had a theory that as soon as that was to happen, one of your Downton Abbey staff would have come out and just with white gloves pushed it into a bin.
We thought by the time we got to the Uber, which was out at the side gate, that it would be in the bin. 100% no.
Yeah. Where is it, Elbow?
It's on the mantelpiece. It's a great talking point.
Talk to me.
I had members of the US Congress there recently, about 25 of them, and along with everyone at the Australian-American Leadership Dialogue, we had drinks, and I could see people looking at all the photos. Okay, there's the King, there's the PM's family, there's these three people. I wonder who they are. The mystery. They would have gone back. In Washington, D.C. today, they are asking themselves, we wonder who those three people are.
Do you reckon they've opened up
what ministry do they have?
I believe the CIA has looked into it.
Yeah, do you reckon they open up a case file and stuff like that to find out who we are?
It's X-Files.
If we have your ear, whether we can be turned into spies, perhaps, Shaun?
Well, the CIA undoubtedly would have been there because they participate, as do our security agencies in these meetings.
How's our Jodie going?
Jodie is going very, very well.
Yeah.
She's away a fair bit, though, this week.
Well, you're with a professional woman.
Well, we did get to see both of you at the Women's World Cup, which is fantastic.
It was
You were
awesome.
up and about. I mean, you'd have been so proud of that whole setup, I'd imagine.
It was so good to see packed stadiums cheering women's team sport was transformative. Like, you wouldn't have thought that it would have happened 20 years ago, and to see blokes wearing Matilda shirts,
isn't it amazing?
Great, really good. And that penalty shootout, I've been to a lot of sporting fixtures, but nothing quite like that. When every one of the Matildas 10 shots, the stadium, it was in Brisbane, you could feel people stop breathing for the few seconds beforehand. They just held their breath, and when they went in, there was a cheer. When they didn't a couple of times, there was this, but it kept going. It was an incredible tense. It seemed like hours. It was only minutes, but it was just awesome. And then the Sam Kerr goal.
Oh, what a screamer.
We were waiting for that, weren't we?
These
our flag bearer at the coronation.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Are these...
One of my best ever picks. That was foresight for you.
Hey, are there certain pinch yourself moments from being the Prime Minister, and was that one of them? Because we're all watching it from TV and we're going, oh my God, this is something historic that we're watching right now for women's sport and the Matildas. And then you're down there with them after the game.
So
is that one of your pinch yourself moments?
It was just great.
Yeah.
And I got to know Sam by her being the flag bearer at
Sean's
the
cousin.
in really?
Yeah, she's my second cousin, yeah.
She is awesome.
My dad and her Sam's mum, first cousins, yeah. Live down the street from each other.
She is just such a great ambassador for our country. And they were just so rapt when they had that big win. But they're just fantastic ambassadors. They're so humble. They don't roll around like the blokes do either, with injuries.
There was a point of that, actually. If you watched their games, there were hardly any sort of, when they just sort of take a tumble when, they got hit in the head, but they're holding their ankle.
But think about it, though.
You know
when a man gets a cold and a woman gets a cold, the man's way more dramatic.
Yeah,
I mean, it's what we are.
It's a worse cold, though.
It's the worst cold ever, Sean.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
We are talking about stories to do with when an animal moved in and whether it was to your body, like Ian's toe, or the brain worm lady.
Oh, God.
Or maybe it was just into your house. Jenny's in Craigie. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jenny.
Jenny, what moved in?
Morning. It's actually my son. He had a scorpion move into the back of his ear. It was wrapped around his ear.
A scorpion, Jenny.
A little scorpion, yeah. He'd been camping with his mates in the bush at the back of Craigie dump area up there, actually the water sewage area. Anyway, he'd been with his mates on the weekend and he was itchy for a few weeks and he said, my mum, he used to scratch it every time it got itchy. Anyway, he said, Mum, can you have a look? There's something itchy at the back of my ear. Anyway, it was a scorpion wrapped around his ear.
How big was it, Jenny?
Oh, just a tiny one from the bush, yeah. Yeah, little ones that they
Jenny,
have out.
can we
the bush.
go back to the part where your son went camping at a water sewage treatment plant?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. The little kids up there, and when they were about 12 and 13, used to just go and camp with their swags overnight in the water sewage.
These days,
It was
parents
the
would be
bush.
locked up
It was-
if you let your 12-year-olds do that.
No, that's fine.
That
Bit
is
of
fine.
bush.
Yeah,
Close-
absolutely
bit
fine,
of bush,
Jenny.
bit of bush 10 minutes from home, that's fine.
These swags, that's so great. The great outdoors.
Oh, Jenny got a quiet night at home. It was brilliant. Thanks, Jenny. Kate's in Kalamunda. Hello.
Hi.
All right,
Okay.
Kate. What moved in?
So my mum's a nurse, and about 5 years ago when we were living up north, they had a tourist come in that had been camping around the Cape near Exmouth.
Yep.
And she had a big blister on her cheek that she thought must have been bitten by something.
Yes.
And when they were examining it was moving, and so they've gone to pop it, and they've had hundreds of baby spiders run out of it. And they've had to get the nurses and doctors to try and block her nose and ears while all these
So they didn't
spiders
crawl in.
Oh, absolutely disgusting.
That's what we think is going to happen to your arm, Sean.
Yeah, we do, actually.
Because I
We
thought it
keep
was just an
hearing
urban
these
myth, but it does actually happen, does it? It
Yeah,
must do.
yeah. So she'd been camping and obviously been maybe had a little wound and. Oh yeah, she said it was absolutely horrible. There was just spiders all through the room.
Why does the spider bite you and then impregnate you with eggs and stuff?
Well, because they want there to be more spiders in the world, don't they?
I guess I'll do that. Right, Nat, that was pretty good.
It is, isn't it? I'm just trying to Google if it's possible.
Okay.
Tracy's in Sorrento. Hello.
Hi, how you going
Good,
there?
Trace.
Trace. Now, did an animal move in? What happened?
Animal moved into my husband. We'd actually been camping. We bought a property up Dongra, and he was doing his crocodile impersonations at the time, and so we had a nice camping night out, and invited to pretty much the hillbillies' place the next door for a barbie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Halfway through that barbecue, he discovered when he went to the toilet that he had a bit of a problem with he had a tick in his willy.
Oh.
Made for a pretty adventurous afternoon because we were all drinking port out of nitty glasses.
Yes.
But needless to say, some of the remedies included metho, hot matches, heated up tweezers and so forth.
I know that the burning thing is I did read about that, Tracy. And one thing, if you don't get the tick's body, it leaves its head in your body. So it's
very
head
important.
in the penis.
Thanks for saying penis again, Sean.
I needed to say.
Yeah, good work. So, needless to say, it still stayed there. It was a pretty adventurous afternoon, but, it involved a pretty funny trip to the doctors after the camping holiday, that's for sure.
And what do they get? And they just, cut it out?
Oh, I think they gave him antibiotics and, then kind of gave him a bit of anaesthetic and got the rest of it out.
Yeah. You need tweezers to get the head out, and often you have to twist. Yeah, because you were drinking heavily, weren't you? Which is the only way to deal with camping, I would suggest. So what I'm taking away from all of these stories is don't go camping. You know what I mean?
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We're talking about strategic breakups. I was talking to a friend of mine just on the weekend, actually, and she was telling me about her sister who they'd been married for, more than 20 years. But you could tell it was over, like it was one of those dwindling relationships. And then he filed for divorce just after her father's inheritance came through. So her father had passed away, and it had So that becomes her asset. Then doesn't matter. It's a shared asset.
I know, but you can see what he did.
Oh, in the court, morally, you can see it. In a court of law, they're like, no, well, that's a shared asset now.
God, that's.
It's mean, isn't it?
That's both mean and clever.
Strategic breakups is what we're talking about. Laura's in Wellard. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
What happened?
It was a bit of a long one. So I wanted to break up with my partner, but then someone in their family passed away. So I was like, well, I can't break up with them now.
Yes, because you're a nice person.
I'm not that horrible.
Yes, okay.
And then they were going off on a trip, and they were going to be gone for quite a few months. So I was like, that's fine. We'll drift apart. That'll make my life easier.
Yes.
But then they invited me on part of the trip. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went on the trip, and then the day we got home from the airport, I broke up with them. And they were quite upset with me because then every single time someone asked how their trip was, they would have to say, well, my partner broke up with me, even though they'd been gone for months and they'd done all these exciting things. That was the only thing that they told us.
You ruined it.
And then also think about it as well, all those photos of you together on the trip.
Yes.
There were a lot of photos on the trip.
Because when you're with somebody else on a trip, you're not really taking many selfies because you're all about taking photos together.
Yes, that's right.
So then suddenly all the photos null and void from that holiday.
You really did ruin everything, Laura.
Because every photo is a picture of heartache.
It's a constant reminder of your trauma. Oh, I mean, well done, obviously. Tam's in Como. Hello.
Hi, love the show, guys.
Oh, Tam, stop it. We love you. Now,
come on.
Settle down. Tell us about a strategic breakup. What do you got for us?
Okay, so back in the day, I worked with a girl in an office block, and she started dating one of the guys that worked with us. It got all hot and heavy, got really serious. They moved in together, seemed like the happily ever after, until he did the dirty. And she had to obviously go around one day after she had left him and pick up all of her things. And he said that he wouldn't be there, so she went in, packed up all of her stuff. But as her last revenge, this is pretty gross, she urinated in a jug, and then she emptied all of his cologne into the toilet and then transferred her urine into his cologne bottle.
Okay, this is next level. I've heard of revenge stuff before, but I've never heard this one before.
I've heard of it, Natalie. I wear it. It's called Pissy Me Arsey. It's actually really nice.
So we don't know if he ever really found out, but I think he might have, because we all started talking about it, later on. So who knows? But it was her classic revenge.
Yeah, that's Calvin Klein #1. that is, you know what?
That is next level conniving. But he shouldn't have cheated on her, should he? Be careful, because they might get you back.
You'd have to buy a tiny little funnel. Funnel it into each bottle. Anyway, that was some great ideas.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
So Adele is doing her residency in Vegas.
Yes.
I would like to go and see that.
That's the one she put off for ages because she wasn't happy with the way the production was going, but it's actually happening now.
Yeah.
She would be amazing to see.
And it was so strange because you would think that you would think a residency is when people are on their way out.
Yes, that's right.
You know? It's like when we get celebrities for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. We're not getting Debbie Gibson back in the day.
Yes, or they've been trapped into it by their evil manager.
Yes.
That's the plot of Elvis, everybody.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
That's exactly what happened. So this guy, he was so excited to be going to an Adele concert.
Well, I would be excited too. She's the best.
Yeah, his name's Yuan. And he went there with a selfie stick.
Okay, that's a bit annoying.
He wanted to, and he had like the 3D the 360s view on your camera, the panoramic.
Yeah.
He had that sort of as the video
So
happening.
he wants to soak in the moment
him,
and
his friend,
be able
Adele,
to watch it forevermore.
People around.
Nobody watches those things ever again, do they?
Yeah. So he's up there dancing and singing around, singing and, getting right into it.
He's in the moment.
And what's happened is a woman, firstly, has come from behind and said, "Excuse me, can you sit down? There are people trying to watch this show and you're in front of us."
And it's kind of a theatre environment, isn't it, rather than a concert at a stadium kind of thing.
So then Adele at that point has turned around and she's pointed out at the guy and she goes, and once the song finished, and said, "Okay, you can get up and start dancing now."
Okay.
And then he was like, "Oh my gosh." So then he went just like,
Crazy.
Well,
he's got their go-ahead from Adele herself.
And then a security guard had come over and had a word to him and said, "Hey, you've got to calm down because you're disturbing everybody around you."
You're being told to calm down at an Adele concert.
There's something impressive and sad, mostly sad about that. So Adele on stage stops singing and addresses the fact that this guy keeps on getting bothered by security.
Yes, you with your hand up. Yes, you. Put your hand up. You. No, you. Yes, you with the stick in your hand. What are you doing? Why are you all bothering him? Can you leave him alone, please? You enjoy the show.
I mean, I love that she's sticking up for her fans. That's
fantastic.
Adorable.
"Hey, you with a stick in your hand" is probably the best sentence she's ever said. This guy is validated and all this sort of stuff, right? Now, the woman that was sitting behind him that went and obviously spoke on behalf of the group of people that they were being, they were being annoyed. I'm sorry. Am I wrong to say that they deserve to enjoy this concert too?
How annoying was he? That's the question. Is he just up sort of swaying and clapping like that? Is that what he's doing?
Well,
or is it more than that?
Let's have a listen.
That's him? Yeah. I'd be a bit annoyed if I'd paid good money, very good money, to go to see Adele and that guy singing in my ear.
I know.
Because I'd rather hear Adele.
Because I can't see Adele. I'm at Adele's residency, not yours.
Not Yuan.
Yeah. One person can ruin a show for you.
It's true.
One person can ruin it for you. And I think, Adele was right. You can get up and dance and blah, blah, blah. But
I'm all for that.
But it's a seated auditorium.
Ruin everybody's enjoyment. When I went to see Kevin Hart here at RSC Arena, I missed the end of the show.
Yeah.
So he builds up to this big story that he's telling.
Yeah.
And I missed the end of it because there was a brawl right in front of us. Now, who gets into a brawl at a Kevin Hart show? And the security came and dragged this guy out, and he's like laying into them. And it was such a spectacle. We're just watching that. And then the show was finished. It's like,
Kevin Hart. I can understand someone being king hit at a Wiggle show, but
I know, Kevin Hart.
Not Kevin Hart.
I know. The people at RAC Arena told us that when the UFC was on here, nobody was ejected, and yet people were ejected at Kevin Hart. Figure that out. What's happening?
Oh my gosh, I just remembered.
You're not self-aware enough to know that, are you?
No, I am. And it wasn't me. It was the person that was sitting next to me. I was in a box seat and I was at the RAC Arena and we're watching Miley Cyrus, and the person sitting next to me went, "Oh, they're doing like cappuccinos in there in the box seat." So she came up with a steaming hot cappuccino and she put it on the ledge, and then beneath the ledge is other people sitting, and then the vibrations of Miley was so powerful it slowly vibrated, and the people down there they wore hot cappuccino, and we both just slumped back in our chairs
and pretend it didn't happen. They've been hit in the head by a cup, a saucer, and the entire contents. Okay, well that would have ruined it.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
We're discussing when somebody's ruined the show for you, because we like the fact that Adele stuck up for her fan who was being hassled by security, but also the people around him were a little upset that he was getting into it to their detriment, basically.
You have a problem with it?
And he was also singing really loudly, and if that's right in your
goat sound effect, or was that
no,
him?
No, that was him.
That was him.
That
from the sounded
show.
like do the screaming goat.
Should we compare?
This is a screaming goat. Now do this kid. my God. Oh, my God.
Who sent a goat to the Adele concert? That's weird.
amazing.
Nikki's in Vic Park. Morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Hi,
Okay,
Nikki.
did somebody ruin the show for you, Nick? What happened?
Yeah, so I took my daughter to the Harry Styles concert this year, and the people behind us were so drunk that one of them ended up vomiting all down my daughter's back.
Oh, Nikki.
How old's your daughter?
She's 20.
Oh, okay. Thank God, because I thought it was like going to say 12.
Yes.
No,
I don't think there's an age where which you're happy
Natalie,
about it.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't throw up on women of any age.
I would say on or men.
Or men. Yeah, but you know, it does
Not
seem
only
worse
was
if
she
it was
covered in vomit, but then the smell all around under the seat and everything for the whole show was just vile.
Who's going to
Not
a
very
Harry
pleasant at all.
Styles concert and getting that blown? You're throwing up?
17-year-olds, Nathan. Have you met one?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Well, surprisingly, they weren't. I reckon that they were like mid-30s, maybe.
That's even funnier.
Like
Okay.
they weren't young.
What
They got up
point-
and left straight away.
At what point in the concert was it?
Right at the beginning. Second song
So
or
they
something like that.
preloaded.
So
gone
what?
there.
So what does one do when they've been thrown up on so early in the show?
You go and buy some merch to change into?
Well, one mother's goes down and buys a $65
there we are.
Harry Styles shirt.
That's
Do you
gonna
reckon
help.
that's just one of Harry Styles' roadies? Has to strategically place throwing up on people to try and drive up merch sales?
I mean, interesting tactic. Thanks, Nikki. That's truly awful. Oliver is in Floreat. Hi, Oliver.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, Ollie. Okay, so what happened?
So I recently went over to the World Cup, Women's World Cup final in Sydney.
How amazing. How much did tickets cost for that?
Oh, mate, they ranged to you could pay like $4,000 for a ticket.
Yes, plus
I think I paid,
airfares.
like,
Yeah.
200. Yeah, well, with airfares and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, for sure. So we have this crazy these Spanish supporters in front of us. And every time they got near the goal, they'd just stand up. And there's I reckon there's kind of the rule, right? Like it's you don't stand up, otherwise everyone behind you has to stand up, which is fair enough. And then there was these old people behind me that kind of they couldn't really stand up and they kept giving me the look. So I said something to them, but they kept doing it. And I asked security politely. I was just please. So they kept doing it. And then, we all ended up missing the goal. And I was just am I in the wrong for wanting them, to just please stay seated because, these old people behind me can't
see.
So wait, you missed the goal.
Because they jumped up in front of it.
The Spanish goal. We missed the Spanish goal.
Because the Spanish supporters. Did you get swept up in the emotion of the moment, though? Because obviously Spanish supporters are very passionate about their football team.
Yeah. I understand that for sure.
Yeah, but you actually didn't see the goal. You went all that way.
After all that as well.
Hey, Oliver, how old are you right now?
I just turned 30.
30.
No, 31. Oh, my God.
Isn't that, Oliver, what just happened then? Isn't that disgusting when you realise you're a year older?
Oh, my God, I'm old. Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking because, you're at the age now where you're complaining about people standing up
Yeah,
at
that's
a
right.
sporting match.
I know. And this is a sporting match, exactly.
And you know what? That wouldn't have been when you were 30. That's because you're 31.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that, Oliver.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We're just going to cross over to the other side of the country, actually, to catch up with Adam Gilchrist.
Adam Gilchrist, hello.
Hey.
Gilly.
Oh, Gilly, we could see you on the big screen, but we couldn't hear you for the life of us.
I know. The technology is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably best thing that you couldn't see me.
Well, we
Why?
could see you. We could see you. We just couldn't hear you. And it looked like you just did a shot. Confirm or deny?
Oh, I'm in Melbourne. And Melbourne's abuzz with finals footy, which Carlton are a part of. So there's weird stuff going on, but someone did put something in front of me that it wasn't tequila, so I refrained. I said, no
Okay.
thanks.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you've got your standards. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Steph there, who was passing you the shooter. Now, normally for everyone at home, you would have a tequila with some Tabasco. To keep away
Correct.
the lurgies. That's right?
Yeah, absolutely. Prairie Fire, it's called. Yep.
Hasn't been sick for years.
Now, I have a quick question, Gilly. Why are you a football expert now all of a sudden?
Because I've been supporting Carlton since I was a little boy.
Yes.
And as we all know, it's been a long while since they've been in the finals, so we're all up and about. So I haven't let I haven't let Mel and the kids know yet, but I'm moving to Melbourne for the finals.
Okay,
I'm just coming on over here. Let's hope it goes more than 1 week. But Sydney at the MCG, I reckon they're going to be right. Shawnee, what do you think, mate?
Well, I was a mad Blues supporter when I was growing up because I was from Willerton, because that's our colours.
Really?
Old Willow,
Yeah, right.
6155 to all the people out there. I'm interested because any team that's got an Errol in their team, I like to follow, and that's Sydney Swans and Errol Goulden.
Yeah.
2 possessions on the weekend, Nat, and kicked 2 snaggers, and is going to be in the Australian team. Hard to stop with an Errol.
He was a running fool, wasn't he? He just kept going and going and going. But we'll shut him down. That's all right. We got a couple of boys refreshed. The Doc and Cripper's coming back after a little break. Jacob got off. He just a little bit lighter in the pocket. But anyway, that's all good.
How did you end up a Carlton supporter from being a little boy? Because you grew up in New South Wales. So how did that happen?
Yeah, Southern Riverina, so down near Victoria. So a place called Deniliquin, late 70s. Time to jump on a team, and Carlton won a few premierships through that period of time, so I thought that will do me. And I've only been to 1 grand final with them in it, and they lost. They got smacked by the Kangas in '99. But I don't know, it's been a while, hasn't it? They're due some success, and I think we all agree it's a better competition with Carlton in the finals.
No, I do.
Do we all agree that? I don't know if we all agree that.
You're going to get packed houses like Carlton and Collingwood being in the big dance. You're going to get the big teams
finals.
playing.
You get packed stadiums anyway.
No, you're going to get them anyway. But, Gilly, watching you on AFL 360, I was thinking, oh, come on, mate. How do you get on there? You're on there with Hughesy, of all people.
Oh, mate, lifelong Carlton supporters died in the wool. Did you like my T-shirt?
I did.
Cool, wasn't it?
The Blues T-shirt, yep.
Yeah. See, when I was little, we didn't live in the country. We didn't have any. So you couldn't walk into Rebel Sport and buy a replica jersey like you do nowadays and have all the sponsors on there and all the numbers. So we had to buy a Bond singlet and get a black texture out and draw the CFC on the front. I had number 25. I had the big Jezza on the back. My brother had 37 for Wayne Harms.
Yeah.
But, that was us. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I reckon I've got a good feel to it, I reckon.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.